Ohio just voted to approve a bill to arm teachers. This is going to be a controversial bill because the Democrats hate guns and the Democrats want to get rid of guns, and a bill to arm teachers is going to encourage people to have more guns. If any, either it'll keep the gun number about the same or it will increase the number of guns out there. And so the Democrats are very upset about this. But this is a very good law. The Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine is expected to sign this bill that the GOP-led legislature passed. This is a good bill. Here's how you know it's a good bill. For a moment, take away every preconceived desire that you've got in politics. All the rules you want, everything you want to change, just take that away and just focus for 1 second on a school. You've got a school, two schools. You got one school where the teachers and the staff are permitted to carry guns. And you don't know which teachers are exercising that right and which teachers are not, but you know that there are going to be guns in this school. Then you got a school that's a gun-free zone where you know no guns are allowed anywhere around that school. Maybe a resource officer is allowed to carry one, maybe. Which school do you think is more likely to be shot up by a lunatic? Which one? The one where you don't know if you bust into that school with a gun, if you're going to be taken out by that guy or that guy or that guy or all of them at once? Or the school where everyone's a sitting duck? Obviously, it's the former, regardless of what you think about guns. Second step, are school shootings being carried out by teachers with their guns? Are school shootings being carried out by aides with their guns? No, the school shootings are always carried out by crazy, weirdo students, many of whom show a lot of warning signs that are completely ignored because often of political correctness and because of neglect and because of inefficiency and sometimes corruption at the schools. But what we know for sure, that's a separate issue, what we know for sure is the school shootings are not being carried out by teachers with their guns or aides with their guns. So it's not going to increase the risk to students, and it is going to decrease the risk. If you want to reduce the likelihood of school shootings, there is no question arming or allowing teachers to arm themselves and aides to arm themselves would accomplish that. I don't see how you could argue otherwise. The only thing you could argue is, well, we don't want more guns out there. Well, guns are just bad generally, and so we want fewer guns, not more guns, so no more guns. But that's a totally separate, now you're just talking about guns in a way that is almost entirely unrelated to school shootings. So on this issue, the libs have to pick. They've got a very stark choice before them. Protect kids or pursue their mostly unrelated gun control agenda. They're mutually exclusive. And the libs are totally picking the latter, uniformly, almost, I think, without exception. And the Republicans are choosing the former. You might say, well, it's just because Republicans love guns. Yeah, Republicans do love guns. And they do. A lot of Republicans do, at least. Yeah, that's true. It's just because Republicans love their Second Amendment right. Yep, you're damn right we do. But that, again, that's sort of beside the point here. I'm not talking in the abstract. I'm not talking about some grand ideology. I'm just talking about the practical question. What is more likely to protect kids at schools? The shooter goes in and he doesn't know which teachers and aides have guns? Or shooter goes in, sitting ducks, he knows it's a gun-free zone. It's obviously the former. I know we don't get the libs to admit basic facts these days. Men are not women, babies are babies. But come on, if we're being serious, if we're being sincere, we're having a good faith debate, obviously that policy would reduce the likelihood of a mass shooting in a school. And the libs don't care because they're pursuing their own agenda. Furthermore, libs in California are now making it harder to identify threats, people who could cause violence at schools earlier on. There's the California Senate, which just passed a bill no longer requiring teachers to report incidents to the police. This is Senate Bill 1273. States that current law holds that a person, quote, who willfully disturbs any public school or any public school meeting is guilty of a misdemeanor and shall be punished by a fine of not more than $500. This bill would make it so that enrolled students would no longer be held liable for such an offense. So the school would not report these incidents to authorities. Now you might say, look, if a student is messing around at school and I don't know, he does something stupid, he pulls a prank, he disrupts a class, the class clown, does the class clown need to be reported to the police every time he pulls a prank? No, I don't think so. But what if students are causing real disruptions? What if students are exhibiting really troubling behavior? Do you think that the schools should report that to authorities? Well, if your goal is to reduce the likelihood of violence at schools, there's no question here. Of course, the schools should report the behavior. But if you are pursuing a different agenda, if you are pursuing the agenda of abolish the police, the agenda of we've got an over-incarceration problem, the agenda of we shouldn't punish people for doing bad things, especially if they're of a protected race or a protected class or a protected geographic area, that would be inequitable and terrible and racist and bigoted and whatever PC nonsense they want to spend. If you're pursuing that agenda, then you say, yeah, don't, just brush it under the rug. When a transgender bathroom comes at the heart of a horrible rape that occurs in a school, Loudoun County, Virginia, when a guy wearing a dress goes in and rapes a girl in the girl's bathroom, and the guy's allowed into the girl's bathroom because of these insane transgender policies. Well, if you want to protect kids, obviously you don't let boys in the girls' room. If you want to pursue your radical, abstract sexual agenda, then you have to let boys into the girls' room. And so what do? If it's the former case, you fix the problem. If it's the latter case, you transfer the boy to another school and you sweep it under the rug. What did the libs do in Loudoun County? What are the libs doing in California? What are the libs doing all over? It has nothing to do with protecting kids. It has everything to do with pursuing their own unrelated agenda. When the two come into conflict, they always pick the latter. I'm glad you like that clip. Now, you know what you have to do. You got to ring, smash, click, like, tap, dab, twerk. I don't know. You got to subscribe to the Michael Knowles Show right here on YouTube and also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Make sure to do that right this very second. We'll see you next time.